The Hunchback of Notre Dame is a 1996 American animated musical drama film produced by Walt Disney Feature Animation and released by Walt Disney Pictures. The 34th animated feature in the Walt Disney Animated Classics series, the film is based on Victor Hugo's 1831 novel of the same name. The plot centers on Quasimodo, the deformed bell ringer of Notre Dame, and his struggle to gain acceptance into society. Directed by Kirk Wise and Gary Trousdale and produced by Don Hahn, the film's voice cast features Tom Hulce, Demi Moore, Tony Jay, Kevin Kline, Paul Candle, Jason Alexander, Charles Kimbrough, David Ogden Stiers, and Mary Wickes in her final film role. Produced during a period known as the Disney Renaissance, the film is considered to be one of Disney's darkest animated films, as its narrative explores such mature themes as infanticide, lust, damnation, genocide, and sin, despite the changes made from the original source material in order to ensure a G rating received by the MPAA. The musical score was written by Alan Menken, with songs written by Menken and lyricist Stephen Schwartz, whom had previously collaborated on Pocahontas, released the year before. The Hunchback of Notre Dame was released on June 21, 1996 to largely positive reviews and was a commercial success, grossing over $325 million worldwide and becoming the fifth highest-grossing release of 1996. The film received Academy Award and Golden Globe Award nominations for Menken's musical score. A darker, more gothic stage adaptation of the film was rewritten and directed by James Lapine and produced by Walt Disney Theatrical in Berlin, Germany, as Der Glockner von Notre Dame, and ran from 1999 to 2002. A direct-to-video sequel, The Hunchback of Notre Dame 2, was released in 2002. Plot: in 1482 Paris, Clopin, a gypsy puppeteer, narrates the origin of the titular hunchback. A group of gypsies sneak illegally into Paris, but are ambushed by Judge Claude Frollo, the Minister of Justice. A gypsy woman in the group attempts to flee with her deformed baby, but Frollo chases and kills her outside Notre Dame. He tries to kill the baby as well, but the cathedral's archdeacon intervenes and accuses Frollo of murdering an innocent woman. To atone for his sin, Frollo reluctantly agrees to raise the deformed child in Notre Dame as his son, naming him Quasimodo. 20 years later, Quasimodo develops into a kind yet isolated young man who has lived inside the cathedral his entire life. A trio of living stone gargoyles, Hugo, Victor, and Laverne, serve as Quasimodo's only company, and encourage him to attend the annually held Festival of Fools. Despite Frollo's warnings that he would be shunned for his deformity, Quasimodo attends the festival and is celebrated for his awkward appearance, only to be humiliated by the crowd after Frollo's men start a riot. Frollo refuses to help Quasimodo, but Esmeralda, a kind gypsy, intervenes by freeing the hunchback, and uses a magic trick to evade arrest. Frollo confronts Quasimodo and sends him back inside the cathedral. Esmeralda follows Quasimodo inside, only to be followed herself by Captain Phoebus of Frollo's guard. Phoebus refuses to arrest her for alleged witchcraft inside Notre Dame and instead has her confined to the cathedral. Esmeralda finds and befriends Quasimodo, who helps her escape Notre Dame out of gratitude for defending him. She entrusts Quasimodo a pendant containing a map to the gypsies' hideout, the Court of Miracles. Frollo soon develops lustful feelings for Esmeralda and, upon realizing them, begs the Virgin Mary to save him from her spell, to avoid eternal damnation. When Frollo discovers that she escaped, he instigates a citywide manhunt for her, which involves setting fire to countless houses in his way. Phoebus discovers Frollo's evil reputation and defies Frollo, who then sentences him to death. Phoebus is struck by an arrow and falls into the River Seine, but Esmeralda rescues him and takes him to Notre Dame for refuge. The gargoyles encourage Quasimodo to confess his feelings for Esmeralda, but he is heartbroken to discover she and Phoebus have fallen in love. Frollo returns to Notre Dame later that night and discovers that Quasimodo helped Esmeralda escape. He bluffs to Quasimodo, saying that he knows about the Court of Miracles and that he intends to attack at dawn. Using the map Esmeralda gave him, Quasimodo and Phoebus find the court to warn the gypsies, only for Frollo to follow them and capture all the gypsies present. Frollo prepares to burn Esmeralda at the stake after she rejects his advances, but Quasimodo rescues her and brings her to the cathedral. Phoebus releases the gypsies and rallies the citizens of Paris against Frollo and his men, who try to break into the cathedral. Quasimodo and the gargoyles pour molten copper onto the streets to ensure no one enters, but Frollo successfully manages to enter. He pursues Quasimodo and Esmeralda to the balcony where he and Quasimodo both fall over the edge. Frollo falls to his death in the molten copper, while Quasimodo is caught in time by Phoebus on a lower floor. Afterward, Quasimodo comes to accept that Phoebus and Esmeralda are in love, and he gives them his blessing. The two encourage him to leave the cathedral into the outside world, where the citizens hail him as a hero and accept him into society. Voice cast: Tom Hulce as Quasimodo, Notre Dame Cathedral's 20-year-old hunchbacked bell ringer who dreams of seeing life outside the bell tower. Although Quasimodo is being constantly told by his guardian Judge Claude Frollo that he is an ugly monster, Clopin's opening song asks listeners to judge for themselves who is the monster, and who is the man, of the two. James Baxter served as the supervising animator for Quasimodo. Demi Moore as Esmeralda, a beautiful, streetwise gypsy dancing girl who befriends Quasimodo and shows him that his soul is truly beautiful, even if his exterior is not. Highly independent and strong-minded, she abhors Frollo's treatment of Paris as gypsies and other outcasts, and seeks justice for them throughout the film. She falls in love with Captain Phoebus. Tony Fusilli served as the supervising animator for Esmeralda. Tony J as Judge Claude Frollo, a ruthless, self-righteous and religiously pious judge who is Quasimodo's reluctant guardian. He has an intense hatred of the gypsy population and seeks to annihilate their entire race. In comparison to Victor Hugo's novel, he also displays a sadistic and lustful obsession with Esmeralda. Frollo generally believes all he does is in God's will, despite frequent disagreements with the cathedral's archdeacon. Kathy Zielinski served as the supervising animator for Frollo. Kevin Kline as Captain Phoebus, a soldier who is Frollo's captain of the guard. He does not approve of Frollo's methods and saves people whenever they're in danger, including his love interest Esmeralda. Russ Edmonds served as the supervising animator for Phoebus and Achilles. Paul Candle as Clopin, a puppeteer, storyteller, and mischievous leader of the gypsies. Michael Surrey served as the supervising animator for Clopin. Charles Kimbrough, Jason Alexander, and Mary Wicks as Victor, Hugo, and Laverne, three comical gargoyle statues who are Quasimodo's best friends and guardians. This was Mary Wicker's final film. After Wicker's death, Jane Withers provided the remaining dialogue for Laverne in the film's sequel and related merchandise. David Bruckschmeier served as the supervising animator for Victor and Hugo, while Will Finn served as the supervising animator for Laverne. David Ogden steers as the Archdeacon, a kind man who helps many characters throughout the film, including Esmeralda. Dave Burgess served as the supervising animator for the Archdeacon. Frank Welker as Charlie, Esmeralda's pet goat, and Hugo's love interest. Ron Husband served as the supervising animator for Charlie.